You are now tuned in to KNT Radio with DJ11Bravo, app creator from Vegas. You already know what it is. Let's get it. KNT, let's go. It's your boy, kbrowntheceo, and I got a special KNT exclusive. I'm only dropping it for my people. You know what I'm saying? So you going to see this first. You know what I'm saying? My man's dropping some heat today. You already know. Add all the people in and all that. My man got some shit to talk about all the way from Vegas. It's 11 o'clock in the morning over there, so shout out to the people up. You know what I mean? So if you're in Vegas, go get that coffee, go get that Cinnabon. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy some good content. Because I got one of your own in the building. You feel me? And I got my boy, DJ11Bravo, DJ the official Gamer Girls. If you don't know about the Gamer Girls, we had one of them, Katie Irene, on the show. So check that interview too. It's on YouTube and on my Instagram. And if you don't know the YouTube, KNT Radio, KNT Radio. You know what I mean? What up, bro? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I got my boy in the building. Shout out to everybody in the channel. If you on here, what up, what up, what up, what up? The GOAT in the building. Yo, for you to show your face for me, that's love, man.
Thank you, man.
What's
How you
up?
doing?
What's up? Introduce yourself.
I'm Ed Orcasitas. Let's see, how do I introduce myself? Just average, normal person, deciding to make a difference, and kind of launching today on your show. Actually, the website's still waiting for the SSL certificate, so just waiting on that, technology. But my background, I guess we'll get into that in a few minutes, but that's a little bit about me. Is just I've kind of been seeing stuff around the world. I think we all have. I think we all are kind of over it. I think we're all past like the COVID thing. We're all past almost dying. I think the whole world is kind of suffering from PTSD at this point.
Yo, we children of war. I always tell people that.
Yeah.
Children of
So
war.
I think we need a change. And, I do this for companies for the last, I don't even want to say how many years, let's just say a long time. And, it's about time we actually do something for ourselves. And, we'll get into that in a few seconds, but I mean, I'm really excited about kind of where we're going.
Exactly. And I just want to appreciate you and give you a shout out because not too many people creations are not selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like you, all your ideas that me and you talk about, you know what I mean? This is my brother, you know what I mean, from the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? Tell them what time it is, where you at right now.
Right now it's 11:03 on the dot.
Where you at right now?
I'm in Las Vegas, a horrible place to be. No, I love Las Vegas. I've been trying to move out here for about a long time, and finally just happened about 5 years ago. So I'm here.
So I want to get more on your background. So you say you do coding and stuff like that. What made you get into that?
So I don't actually do coding. I kind of work with developers. I've been doing.
Oh, okay. You work with the coders. Okay.
Right. So I work with coders. I've designed a couple apps. I've also kind of designed my own app, which eventually became kind of the national neighborhood watch app. But that was met, but it was too early. I think it was just too early. I think law enforcement didn't understand the potential of what it could do. It was a mobile app that recorded audio, video, GPS, and segments and sent it up to the cloud, and you couldn't delete it. So your word was bond, basically. Whatever you're recording, it was evidence, and no one could refute it because there's no other way to upload. It was just from the app. So we will relaunch that soon. We have all the code base. It takes just a little bit to kind of relaunch it, but I think when the world realizes what it can do, I think it'll be ready to kind of help us out, so we don't have those situations where he said, she said. We don't have the I'm alone and no one's going to defend me. You have literally like a lawyer in your pocket, a lawyer in your app, a judge in your app watching what's going on. And I think we can change a lot of things by doing that. But I think, we have to relaunch it another way and do the right things. So
So how long you been doing this for?
Uh, IT, I don't know. I think I was like 3 or 4. No, it's been it's been a while. I don't want to date myself, but let's just say it's been a long while in IT, and I've seen the culture of IT change from IT driving innovation and helping businesses see the value of IT to now we're just sort of the caretakers of direction that other people are doing and not really allowing IT to have the innovation. I think that's going to change as part of kind of what I'm working on is to change kind of the iceberg from being upside down. So
Yeah. You a genius. I always tell you that. You a genius. Man. I'm like, yo, it takes a lot to do that stuff. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of brain power to be like my man been doing this for a long time, project manager, and it's a lot to handle all those moving pieces and be the head and shark of all these things. You know what I mean? But I wanted to get
yeah,
him more. You a DJ as well, right? My man
I
DJ Bravo.
DJing since I was 14 years old. I used to get snuck into clubs in LA through the kitchen, with my vinyl records running in there. Now I really dated
You
myself.
showing your age
And,
with them vinyl records on my channel.
hey, I still miss my vinyl. I still miss my vinyl. I'm slowly building it up though. I'm slowly building it back up.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I've been DJing for quite a while, and mostly just for my own purpose. And just recently, I said, well, I was actually at a I was at a country bar, ironically, and this veteran came up.
Hold on. You was at a country
I
bar?
was
What's
at a
that?
I was at a country bar in Vegas. It's a great spot. Someone had recommended it, and I said, well, what the hell, let's go. I had a couple friends in town, and we just decided to go hit a country bar. And this veteran pulls me aside, and he says, "Hey, we talked a little bit about what happened in the past, and obviously we've been in things." And he asked to speak with me outside, and I said, "Okay, but what do you want to talk about?" I said, "Well, just something personal." So we had the conversation, and he had some PTSD that he was just kind of still, even now, still dealing with. And so I mean, I just gave him kind of my 2 cents. And he thanked me and said, "No one's ever said that to me in the way that you just said
Mm.
it." And I think I feel better. I think actually it made a difference. And I was like, wow. I mean,
Yo,
you know,
that's what
I
it's
didn't
about.
say much, but it was powerful. And that
Hmm.
fueled me to, I think I need to do this in my life. I think I need to help other people. And I mean, I've always been a help people type of person. But I
Exactly.
think that now, with a new direction, a new chapter in my life, I want to kind of go full force. So yeah.
Mm. And speaking of new chapter, right? But before we get to the new chapter, because my boy's about to drop some of those exclusive stuff on KNT Radio, but I don't want to get this there yet. How did you get in touch with the gamer girls and all of that?
So I created a venue. It's about 4 or 5 phases. The first phase is to provide women another option besides the options that are out there to sort of make money online. I won't get into that, but another option that has class, that has fun, that's exciting, that attracts attention, and that also provides a little bit of who you are. So it's not just about
Mm.
gaming. There's other shows that go with the show that are off, that we're going to be planning for like more of a TV station per se. And
Mm.
working with a couple providers to talk about original content for providing women an ability to game online and have the right kind of momentum to be able to launch themselves into stardom, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just let's do it a different way. Let's give them another option. Let's give little girls that are growing up watching their older sisters, their aunts, their moms, online doing things that maybe we shouldn't be doing 100% of the time. Let's give them another option and say, well, instead of doing that, I'd rather do this. Why? Because I'd rather go cute gamer girls and then eventually real gamer girls. And then I just want to be a gamer. And I want the publicity of I'm the number one gamer of my city. And I just earned that title. And maybe because of promotions and vendors and support from all the game, manufacturers and coders, they will then, cherish those gamers and have more of an Olympics worldwide and do some really cool stuff. Because everyone is into gaming between the
Hmm.
ages of, I don't know, 0 and like, let's say
Everybody's a
20.
gamer.
It's a big thing, and you know what it is, and if you look at the psychology behind it, and I'm not a psychologist, but you know, I did a
Hold on,
bunch
what
of.
word did you say it again?
Said I'm not a
What's that?
psychologist, but I
Oh,
took a lot of
psychologist.
classes.
Okay.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
the military, I
cool.
took literally almost all my upper division, and when I came back, they only gave me a certain percentage of my my credits, and I said, "Well, what about the rest of them?" Like, "Oh, those are not our curriculum." So, anyways, long story short, I did study quite a bit about psychology. And I've always maintained the mind, you know, like studying the mind. And if you look at it, it's the reason why you know kids are in the gaming is because look at our world.
Facts.
You know, I'd rather
My
be
word is
gaming.
a mess.
I'd rather jump into that world because it's more fun, more exciting. There's a future. There's a gratification of having success. I won. I beat somebody. I did something positive. This world, to be honest with you, I'd unplug too.
That's
And
fact.
so
And
if we look at it
and it
that way,
also helps with depression and stuff like that because a lot of people like feel good and they connect with people because if you're lonely, you can literally have friends online, like the people you play online with every day and stuff like that. So it helps. It definitely builds bonds. And like, if you know a person that's good, you invite them. It builds friendships and all types of stuff. What up, Top Hope, Julius Seaver?
yeah, no, exactly. And I think gaming provides an outlet for the youth to, like you said, connect with other people, but also to be somebody, to be out there
Yeah,
in the world, to have an identity. Your gamer tag is who you are when you're on you know communication platforms that allow you to talk to other people in the world. You're international. You're no longer in your city wherever you are. You're no longer dealing with whatever your world you know issues are in your community or in your house or in your apartment. You know, you're now international, and no one cares you know where you are, where you're from. It's just gaming and then having fun. And I think
yeah,
that's something that you know I think we really need to invest in that because I think that's a it's a positive thing, but we also want to make sure that we provide a structure around that to be successful and also make sure we
exactly. So
protect
like, but I
it.
want to say this: if you're a parent on here, watch what your kid is playing because
Absolutely.
like a lot of this stuff is becoming artificial, like intelligence, and
Mhm.
and you can easily get sucked into living your real life artificially, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I think you know, as a parent, you know, you know, my little one is not exactly gaming just yet, but when she does, obviously, I'll be looking at what she's doing and being part of that to make sure that she's safe and make sure that she's protected. And that's actually some of the ideas that I have to provide a layer of protection for children. I've always been like a big children person, you know, so and since I was a little kid, I mean, I even donated time to do like suicide hotline and stuff like that, or donated time with kids and even the most amazing time I ever had was you know watching you know survivors victim survivors from domestic violence where they would
That's
take
dope.
them and go have the mothers would go do their thing and get their nails done and their hair because they needed that for them to feel good about themselves and we would watch the kids and they would just love to play they would just love to have a great time and kids just want love and attention that's the number one thing they love and to protect them is like the biggest thing in the world for me. I've always been. That's one of the reasons why you know I created that app. You know to protect you know for anti-bullying, for you know anything to protect kids. Because if someone knows they have an app and they have it on the phone and they can press record and they're already captured, that's a higher risk. To,
Exactly.
so you know what I'm saying it's a deterrent. So you know I think some of the things that we want to do with this organization is to number one protect kids, but also give them a voice you know, give them a voice of the world because guess what? In 20 years, those 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, they're all going to be adults. They're going to be
Yeah,
voting.
every 30.
They're going
That's
to be
facts.
driving this world. So why not prepare them for making the world a bit better space, you know, better area? So that's one of the ideas that we have is to create kind of like almost like forums for them in a safe environment without any identity because we don't need to know who they are. We don't need to know their faces. We don't need to know anything. We just need to know what their mind is, what their thoughts are for the future, and let them drive that. You know, they want a better world. Let's build it. I'll help them build it in every which way possible, and that's kind of our new direction.
Yo, I love your mind, yo. You know, I always tell you that I love your mind because the fact that all, like I just said earlier, that your apps are all positive. Like they don't have like like most billion-dollar companies have a major black side. You
Of
know what I
course.
mean? like for example, they because of Facebook, for Facebook went down yesterday, Instagram. They were talking about, you know, when big things are happening, people will go into the story, and just in a poll alone, Instagram boosted what is it, depression by 14% in women, and also what is the word when girls don't eat? What is that? What is it?
Well, I don't know if it's anorexia, I believe.
Anorexia, yeah, anorexia goes up 17%. You know what I mean? And low self-esteem up 14 and a half. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, because these people are buying things, you know what I mean? Buying this look, and you don't have the money, so you feel as though because you don't have that look, you're not as high as them. And also, if somebody's getting a posted picture, right? They get 500,000 likes, and then you're gonna get one like, and you're just like, what am I doing wrong? I'm not. Am I pretty? No.
Yeah.
You don't know if they
Yeah.
bought them likes, bought them views, or anything. It's promotion, teams behind a lot of things. A lot of people are a team. It's just under one name. But I want to get back to my man Bravo. Talk more about your app you got coming out, man. Talk about, I want to hear it. I want to get into the meat and bones of this app you got coming out. And I don't get to talk to too many app creators, so I want to hear all of this because I want to learn myself. So you got the floor.
Absolutely. And it's a tough business. You know, the kinds of apps that we're putting together are you know, really kind of diversified across different types of things that are positive in the environment. So, you know, one of them is going to be sort of almost like a happy hour kind of app where you can it's kind of like circles things where you have your intimate friends, and then you have your outside friends that are your acquaintances, and then you have your once in a while outside friends. Well, what this does, it provides you to have that communication with those people on a scheduled basis, so that way you actually have interactions with people that you haven't talked to in years, but probably should be talking at least once a year, once in a while. So it schedules that and helps you kind of have that interaction. What it does for your personal mental health is it provides you kind of positive reinforcement with other people, because that, you know, when you're talking with people like just us, you know, we're vibing and we're having a great moment, and that to me is I had a great moment with my friend. Oh, I just found out that they did this, and then, you know, people help each other left and right, and sometimes somebody has something that you need, or you provide something for them that they need, and that kind of working together is kind of like the background behind that, right? So that's one of the things we want to build. The other things are kind of a heart, you know, I call it Harvest for now. It might just turn some other name, but basically it's a protection. It's an app that aggregates your photos and creates kind of moments. So it creates videos of like that moment of the weekend you went to Legoland, or you went to, you know, wherever the case you went to, you know, and it provides kind of also some algorithms to protect, you know, your pictures, but also it provides kind of a security factor for your children, so that way they're not sending pictures on different types of apps. It protects the camera and says, hey, I as a parent want to see everything that you're taking a picture of, and I want to approve it before you send it anywhere else. And then you send a link instead of the actual picture, so we can stop some of the things that are happening across the world that are just not a positive situation. We got to protect our kids, and that's one of the ways we're gonna do that. Some other apps that we're working on are really kind of more sort towards social engineering, to helping us kind of rebuild who we are as a world, but also kind of plan for the future. You know, look at, you know, what can we do to sort of help poverty, help the world from where we are today, and in 20 years look at, well, you know, if we can make poverty go away and improve the level, right? So if we take, the lowest poverty nations, the lowest poverty, and some of them are closer than you think. Might be your next door neighbor, not thinking, what's my next meal? I don't know. I need to figure something out. You know, it's closer than you think, and I think that we all, as a public, need to kind of change some things that will help us get to another level. And it doesn't mean changing the world. It doesn't mean changing government. You don't have to change anything. We can do it ourselves and change and evolve ourselves. Because the way economics works is that it's just cycling. You know, it's an engine, and that oil has to keep going and keep going. And if there's more oil and there's more cycling of, you know, buying and selling and moving and trading products, the economies boom. And that's what every government, every leader, every rich person wants, is us to buy and sell things and move money around, because that's good economy. And that's what happens. So what I'm not doing is I'm not saying, hey, we're going to take over the world. That's not possible. We're going to elevate the bar of where we are today and say, hey, we all want to be at this level instead of down here. And that's
Exactly.
all that we're trying to do.
Yeah, increasing net worth is different.
Right.
Because I just seen a poll like recently. Right? They say 80% of the people that's born in the bottom percent stay in the bottom percent.
That's sad.
And the fact that that's true lets you know there's a system set up, you know what I mean, for it to be like that. So we have to make systems that kind of diversify, and that's what my man right here is for. You know what I'm saying? So protect him, and we gotta protect you now. You know, making apps like that, it kind of goes against the bottom dollar.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got to protect guys like this, the guys, the app creators and stuff like that, because this is the future we in now. Everything you're doing is on the app. We're talking on the app right now.
That's right. Yeah. And it's about creating new things. So you're not going to remake what's already existing. You know, that's already there. So you want to make something that's new, that's innovative, that will drive success, but also at the same time, that success comes back to the public. So instead of, you know, pooling money from large companies that, you know, I want to start to kind of create and build, I want to get back and actually motivate those same people that are in that tough spot, right? Like at that 80% that will turn into the same, you know, poverty level. I want them to have the opportunity to go to school and to kind of grow as a human being and say, I want to do this type of job or this type of role and evolve as a person and come out of where they are and elevate, and then, you know, have the youth drive innovation, but also drive work, you know, drive, you know, success, drive motivation to actually be better and stronger. Because as we start to do that for the oncoming youth that is coming into adulthood and coming into what should I do when I grow up, you know, now let's give them those opportunities to have new businesses, new drives, new jobs, and let's structure it a little bit different. You know, let's not do the I'm working 2 jobs just to survive, you know, and I have a day off once in a while. You know, let's actually, you know, work smart, but work hard and into something that we like to do, right? And you know, not everyone's going to have I love my job. You know, it's impossible. You know? But you're going to eventually evolve into something that it's not bad. I work every other week and have a week off, and I can spend time with my family and enjoy life.
Listen, even if the job's hard, if I got paid for 2 weeks and I only had to work one of them, the shit ain't. Yeah. I can do it that week. I'm what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and the definitely incentive.
Yeah, and the positive that a week that you're off, it's a mental illness like release of, you know, endorphins to go camping and go outdoors and go visit another location, travel in the next couple of years is going to go nuts. You know, everyone in the world is stir crazy. You know, they've been in their house, and as soon as we sort of are safe enough to all travel everywhere and not have the restrictions and things that we have today, I think that the world is literally going to just keep traveling, and I think that's healthy. I think we need to, you know, get past what we just went through for the last 2.5 years. You know, we have been suffering, all of us, and in some way, shape, or form, every single person in the world is suffering. So we need to, you know, evolve from that and move forward.
I agree 100%. Like you said, we're all suffering, and we're all dealing with the same things and kind of blaming each other for it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
And it's
so
not
we
going to
gotta like you said, we gotta come together and kind of boost this poverty level. Like that's all we gotta do. Like we don't gotta all be millionaires, but if we are in the 100,000 range, 200,000 range, us people, you know, at the bottom. One thing I love about being from the bottom, you know what I'm saying? We don't need top money to be alive. You know what I mean? Like, for example, right? If you take a millionaire or a billionaire and put him in our situation, he wouldn't know what to do with that little bit of money. You feel me?
Yeah.
If he was born, I'm not talking about one that came from the bottom and became a billionaire. I'm talking about the second generation billionaires, the ones with the trust fund babies that don't know nothing but the top. You think you can put them in a situation where they have $0 every couple of weeks and they gotta get it back?
No.
So it's just we all have our own strengths. people
Yeah,
have like NBA players, they get the track, they have a lot of money, but do they really see their family?
true. There's a trade-off.
We might not have our money, but we definitely around our kids every day. And I know a lot of these NBA players will love that.
Yeah.
But let's
At
get
some
back to
point,
my boy Bravo. So let's get back to my boy Bravo. What's next for you, Bravo? What's next?
so we're just launching the website. This is kind of a pre-interview. As soon as we launch the website, we're going to have a couple other initiatives to raise awareness. I'm looking to partner with other nonprofits and other groups to kind of partner up and look at how we kind of work together in some shape or form. Our goals are kind of on our website and kind of where we want to be. We want to kind of start the awareness factor. Obviously, some ventures that we're going to start are going to kind of fund everything else. We're actually getting into digital art as well. So as we start to put together kind of our drivers, we're going to be looking at crypto and lots of different new technologies. Most of the apps that we're going to be building is going to be built on crypto blockchain because I think that's the future, and really I think it just makes sense. I think that once we can gain some momentum from a support standpoint, I think there is no limit to the ceiling of where we want to go.
I agree. Listen, with that mindset, there's no limit to anything because like most people want to change the world, right? They want it to be a better place. They don't nobody in the 80% wants to be in the 80%. But they don't know how to go against the powers that be, right? And that's why I kind of say you a genius all the time because dudes like that, like let's just say you didn't know how to create an app but you had ideas. Somebody will pay you to do it, you know what I'm saying? It can be functioning, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to have the schemes to do stuff like if you want to do something at the higher scale like that, you know what I mean? It has to be funneled right, it has to be protected, copyrighted, websites have to be made, things have to be done, hands have to be shaken, you know what I mean? A couple butts gotta get, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? In a real rap, like, sometimes you gotta suck it up to get that investment a little bit.
Right, and the most important thing is never to go against the grain. So you can't make change trying to change other people. You have to make change on your own, and that's the hardest part. Is that everyone wants a better world. Everyone wants to evolve to a higher level of income, a higher level of comfort. Everybody wants that, but the hardest part is like don't go rob somebody. Don't go take something away from somebody else.
Right.
Don't go take a business away from a business. Build your own business, build your own trajectory to become a higher level, and that's kind of our motivation as well, is that we don't want to shift wealth. We want to create new wealth and fund the world to elevate the wealth of the people that are in that 80%, right, to evolve them to everyone's at a certain level that's livable, decent. I'm okay, I got my house, my bills are paid, I have money in the bank. If I want to take a travel vacation, I can. And every other week, maybe I'm camping, maybe I'm doing some fun things with my family, I'm enjoying the life. Because every day is borrowed, right? That at any point in time. I mean, I think we learned that really well the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, we did that in Palace. We just sort of said, hey, if it's my time, it's my time. I'm going to go get my latte. We defied death. We actually defied death the last 2 years. Every time that you went out and you didn't put your mask on, or even if you did, that mask is not sealed. You don't have like it's super sealed over your face.
The thing about the mask though, they're actually spreaders for real. Because when you got your mask on, eventually you're going to take it down for something. Whether you're going to take it down to talk, you're going to take it down to eat or whatever. You know what I mean? Putting it on and off.
Yeah. So I mean, as a public, we already did one thing very well together, which is we defied death, right? And we said, hey, I'm done. Either I already got it, or I take the vaccine, or I don't want the vaccine. It doesn't matter. We all defied death the last 2 years. And we said, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to go get, whatever I want to buy, right? So if we could do that, then we could change some things in this world. And I think that, it only takes just a spark to start the right direction. It's like, if you're on the freeway and you see traffic and you're like, I'm going the wrong direction. I see this traffic. And you see that off ramp and you're like, I know another way to get there. And that's all I'm doing, is providing that off ramp to go, let's try something different.
Yeah, this is the future. Like, you know what I mean? If you on here, make sure y'all follow my man DJ11Bravo. You know what I'm saying? He's the next. He's the yo. People don't understand the layers, because me and you have conversations off here, and I know we can only speak about so much because it's in the process. And what, name the apps again one more time, so the people just jumped on here.
You know what? I still need to come up with names for the apps. I have over 400 that I've documented, and I think that
Hold on. You created 400 apps.
No, concepts. There's 400
Concepts of apps. That's still creating apps. Like right now, if you wanted to go make it in reality, you could. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
If some really nice person were to donate like $1 billion, like literally, I already have people that I would bring in as. And as a matter of fact, it's funny. I have these ripcords. So this is an actual ripcord. When I send this to some of my friends that are just amazing minds, I'm going to send them a ripcord, which is just kind of like a way to say, hey, pull the ripcord and come join me, and let's build something amazing. And those people, I mean, I have graphic designers. I have like the people that I've worked with in my entire life. I've held on and said, this person, wow, this person, wow. And these people are efficient, fast, and the teams that I build are just rock solid. So when we get to that point when we can start to build and grow, I think that it'll be a good day. I think it'll be a good day for the world. I think it'll be a good day for people in general that will see this and go, hey, this is actually pretty cool. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm having a better time. I'm part of this new company where I get every other week off. How is that possible? Well, you get, a partner that takes the other week and works your job when you're not working. Well, how cool is that? How cool is that? You're a team. You guys back each other up, him and her, whatever, doesn't matter who, and you do the job. But you know what? You're way more efficient and you work harder. Because let's be honest, we all need to work harder.
Yeah.
Everything. And if we did a good job for a week, really, really stellar and knocked out of the park, your partner coming in next week to cover your B shift is going to do the same thing, because they don't want to go back to working every week. Nobody does. And that's the momentum change.
Okay, so how do you plan on? Okay, I'm going to ask this. Like, if I never created that, I always ask people this. Like, you know what I mean? Because I always want to give the game and the knowledge to the next generation, right? Because this is the future. Like, creating apps is the future. Like, there's no way around it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if I just had a concept or whatever, and then I wanted to create an app and I never even knew nothing about it, what would be my steps, and how would I go about it for the people that just jumped on here?
Well, so first you want to conceptualize what you're trying to do. And I would buy like a ream of paper, right? Like just printer copy paper. And what you want to do is get a big area where you can just lay that out, okay? And what you want to do is, the first thing you want to do with about 20 or 30 pages is, go to an app that already exists, a mobile app or some type of application, that's online. It doesn't matter. And just map out how they're laid out. Every single thing, the logon, the screen for this, the terms and conditions, every single page that they're going to land on as they sign up and get on the application, do whatever function, map it all out. That's called a template. Now, move that ahead and basically underneath start to build a new application with this more paper and say, how do I want people to log in? How do I want people to do a function? How do I want people to do this? How do you log out? How do you, reset your password? All these things that an app already does, they're already laid out. You just have to change what it is and say, I want to provide an app that does this. And I need it to do this, this, and that. But once you design that in the way that is best for you in an app, then you basically say, I've got everything I need as far as from a conceptual. And then you want to, obviously add images and design, and people can help you with that. There's lots of organizations like Fever and things like that where you can hire any resource in the world for really, really dirt cheap. And they're trying to get jobs all day long. And you can build your own app and maintain it. Now, the maintenance is another thing, because you're maintaining an app in iOS and Android, and that does take money. So you do need to save up for that. I would definitely pitch your idea to investors, pitch your idea to someone that can actually help fund you.
So when you say that takes money, So you kind of went through the first part. Okay, so you create, conceptualize that. Which if you don't know what conceptualize, I mean you got the idea in your brain and you put it on paper and you can show, and then you put it into like I said, like you said, a template. You know what I mean? You put it into a template so everybody, you know exactly what function, how you do things, what it does. You know what I mean? And then you have to go to investors. You know what I'm saying? So that's the next step. So what would this? How would they reach out to the investors? What would they say? What would they need to bring to these investors? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so really, investors are looking for a few things very, very quickly. Most investors want to see you have some type of traction. So you've already raised, awareness, and you've got 50,000, 100,000, a million, people on your app, right? Just word of mouth. It's like a great app. It gets growing. So that they're expecting that to already be there. Because the app business is very competitive and it's getting more and more competitive every day. So if you don't have that, there's something called like incubation or seed startup that you can sort of say, hey, I need 100 grand or 50 grand, just kind of get it going, get a developer and start this up. But the potential has to be massive. So it doesn't have to be an Instagram, it doesn't have to be a Facebook, it doesn't have to be something like that. But if it has the potential of being that, then an investor is going, hey, this is another Instagram that could really make it. I got 100 grand, I can invest in this. Because remember, 8 out of 10 that they invest in go gone, right? So they're waiting on that 1 or 2 that's going to, make a couple hundred million. Bring you back on the 100,000 that they lost, or the 800,000 that they did, 8. So you got to look at the value, right? The valuation of what your company is worth. And the only way that you can do that when you first start off is sort of conceptualize based on another app or another type of service that you can say, well, they did that and this is better. Or, kind of look at where you want to be and project that from a financial standpoint. Because then they're going to see the money and they're going to go, well, this is worth the investment, right?
Okay, so when they ask for that, what do you think will be the base rate for you to ask for if you wanted to create an app from an investor?
So, it depends on the complexity of your app. I would say that most applications, even just from just making sure it's all super solid on both platforms, there's a lot of different platforms that you can use to sort of build one, and it goes to both platforms. As you get more complex or as you get more intense in the application, you'll probably need to go native, which is basically coding within native for iOS and native for Android. And if you have something that's pretty complex, you're talking at minimum like $200,000 to $300,000 in that range just to kind of get started and get going. If it's something very simple and very easy, and maybe you partner up with a developer and maybe give them a percentage of your company or whatever the case is, and maybe they do it for free or they would do it at a very low cost. Then you can kind of get off the ground, and maybe you start on iOS if it's iOS, or if you want to start on Android, which is a lot more people, but you can do different things. There's lots of different options, but I think the most important thing is to have a good design and to look at what the value is to people. Are they going to really want to use this app or not? And that requires a little bit of asking friends, non-friends, friends of friends that don't know you, and get concepts. Because all your friends will say, "Oh, it's a great app," but people that don't know you, they'll tell you for real if it's really going to work or not.
Yeah, word. So your first thing, okay. So I like stepping this, because this is what I've always been waiting for. I've been waiting years to meet you. You know what I mean? Because there's so many. It's something that you use every day, but you barely meet the people creating them. And I feel like that's like the difference between the billionaires and the small. You know what I mean? And like the small people, because the billionaires are watching the stuff that all the small people are doing, and then making them able for them to use it. Like how. For us, we're doing promoting our regular day life on our Instagrams and Facebooks and stuff like that. Like, that's the big man helping utilizing a whole bunch of small people. So if we can kind of make the evil big, we can make the positive giants big too. That's why I'm telling everybody to get behind this man, because he's really KNT approved. He's a brother, you know what I'm saying? But I want to get back to the app, right? The first one is contemplate. Then you scape it out, you know what I mean? You put your papers all around, have it looking like CSI in your house, you know what I mean? You got the notes and all of that stuff going on, you know what I mean? Law and Order, whatever you like, you know what I mean? put your music on, you do whatever you're doing, shape the app out, everything it do is functionality, what you want to see. Like you said, you need graphic designers and stuff like that, so the images will be done and it looks crisp. Then you put together a template, you know what I mean, like a business plan to shop it out to investors. And they saying if you want your regular app about 50 to 100, and if you're trying to get something complex about 300, so that's a lot of money. So you have to be knowing how to make it worth them to give you that. Like you have to show them that if they put this 300,000 into you, that app might be the next Instagram or the next YouTube or something like that. That's going to be groundbreaking. That they're going to make millions to cover all their other losses. Because you said, 4 out of 5 is going to fail. If you say 8 out of 10 fail, that's 4 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? So 4 out of 5 is going to fail. You feel me? So if you're that one and they already invested 800,000 in losers and you made them 3 million, you kind of covered 22 more chances. You feel me? So you make it lucrative for them, and once you get that money, you have to. Now that you have that money, you have to prioritize your business. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to get more into that. I'll explain that part of it.
Yeah, so once you get funded, you then got to look at, I mean, before you get funded, you need to have a plan. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Coming from a project manager, that's kind of how we do things. And you want to have a plan to look at, what your operating expenses are. So, you're going to have to make changes all the time to your app because, well, as the new operating system comes out, you got to test it to make sure your app still works. And also for different browsers, if you're doing any kind of browser stuff, to make sure that it works on all the browsers, all the different types of phones. There's a lot of testing apps that allow you to see, hey, does this actually work on 90% of the phones? You're never going to get to all the phones unless you build a very simple app, but you're going to have some issues on some phones. But if you kind of stay to an operating expense of a certain amount, for a developer to just maintain the application, then you should be good to go. Your trajectory should be something like TikTok, where it becomes shareable, and it has your branding on it, so that way people go back and say, I want to be able to do that too. They go back to your brand, and now they're a member, and and so on. So you want to make sure you have the viral ability within your app to actually bring brand back to your app. So if you come up with ABC app, your ABC needs to be on the top, bottom. It needs to be branded, so that way, no matter what happens when they share what you're making, and it doesn't have to be a video app, but whatever they're doing, you want them to share back to your app, so that way people sign up and you get bigger and bigger and bigger. The network effect is very important in apps because if you don't have that, how do they know where to find you? And it has to be a name that is very easy to remember, and not conflicting with other names or close to something else where it gets confused.
Okay, so now that okay, I like that right there, because this is the breakdown of the future right here. You know what I mean? Because so now when you get funded, you know what I mean, you said the app has to keep changing. You know what I mean? And I want you. I really want to congratulate you for that, because there's a new iPhone every 6 months. You feel me? The iOS, so that's Apple, you know what I mean? And then Android is Microsoft, Google, you know what I mean? So if your app is created in August, it's working on the iPhone 13, you know what I mean? That's the newest one, I guess. So your app is working on the iPhone 13. You're doing your thing. iPhone 14 comes out, new operating system. You test it, and now it doesn't work because you didn't continuously update your app to keep up with the fast-paced world. And that's what you probably mean by the competitive business, because it's so fast-paced, you have to continuously put money into it and have money set aside, because there's always a new phone that got some type of random thing that your app might not be able to hold. You know what I mean? Your app might be made for 4G. They moved to 5G. You got your app on 5G, now they on 6G. You know what I mean? So you have to continuously change with the punches. And what is that like? From your side, like seeing it?
So yeah, each of the respective operating systems and app stores allow for that and give you kind of a heads up, and you got to stay on that. As a new version comes out, you'll be able to test it in advance and make sure that you're good to go before it comes out. So that way, you know, you can adjust your application and make sure it's good to go. Nowadays, seems to be a little more streamlined. Back before it was sort of a surprise, and you know you had to scramble to fix something that your database doesn't connect
Or
anymore or something else. So now it's a little bit more streamlined, and I think that as things change, you're just going to have to factor that into your operating expense. So it's not just about building the app and walking away. There's a lot of those apps they're no longer in service, or they don't work, where the case is. And it does cost. It costs a certain amount, and the more complex your application is, the more you might have to retrofit it each operating system or each change or each security patch, because now you've got security patches that come out on a weekly or monthly basis whenever they come out, and you have to make sure that that doesn't break your app. So it can be um, costly to a certain extent. So it's not something
or
that you can just sort of pay with $50 a month or something like that. That's not realistic unless it's a very simple app that is written very well, that I could withstand. But even then, you still have to test it. So I mean, at the time when we
okay,
made
so
the app,
you
we had
said test it, right? So how would that, like, what is the steps of testing the app for and iOS and then Android?
Well, so there's a couple ways. One, they will validate your code anyways, just make sure there's no malicious code or you're not trying to steal, rob, people's pictures or do anything stupid. So
Or
they'll test it for malicious, to make sure that you're honest about your app. As far as testing, there's a lot of different applications out there that will help you test your application and run it through some use cases or test cases to make sure that it goes through and tests that all the function works, all the buttons work, everything looks good. I'm going to give you a report for that. You can also obviously hire someone to do testing for you, agencies or even individuals that can just say, "Hey, maintain this, and I'll pay you X amount." And just if there's anything wrong, you have a developer that will change that, fix it.
okay, so what would they type in if they wanted to test the app, or what kind of agencies are out there? What kind of apps?
There's thousands of them.
So
As
what
far
would
as
you type
testing,
in?
I I would just Google mobile app testing and find who's a good player. I haven't been in that for a minute. I've kind of started to look a little bit because it changes all the time. But you just want to look for mobile testing. I don't remember the name of the last one that I used, but they actually had phones specifically, like actual hardware phones, and you could run the application and it would actually do the testing and you could see the results. There's also emulators, so you can emulate a different types of phone and run your application on an emulator. And there's a service, I forgot the name of the one, but I'll send it to you. You can put it out to your
Yeah, or
teams or to your public. But there's a lot of great tools out there, and there's a lot of tools that you can use yourself and actually test. So kind of like I said, emulators and things like that. So, but there's
so what
it's
is the
still
promotion on the app like?
well.
I
So
know
promotion is
that's
great.
probably pretty expensive too if you got to promote your app and get it out into these big markets because in order for your app to make 300K back and make it lucrative for the investor, you're at least they have to make 1 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
what I'm
mean, so
seeing
that what
nowadays.
projection of 1 million? I mean,
Right. So I mean, what you're seeing now is you have to have some type of revenue model. So either ads or someone buying the app, or maybe something that's connection to outside world. Like Spotify has a service, that you pay and they have an app, but they make the money on the outside service. And there's actually some lawsuits right now going on for that they shouldn't have to pay the 30% on the app store for that. And I thought that'll resolve itself, I'm sure. So when you're promoting your app, you want to make sure that you're going after your target market. So who is this app for? Who's going to really want this app? Go after those target markets and make sure that you grow that. But you also have, like I said, the network effect. So when someone gets the app, you want them to share it. You want them to share whatever it is that they're doing, so that way more people in their social media groups find out about this and say, "Hey, that's really cool. I want that too." If it's a new filter or something like that, or some type of app that does anything with video and audio, make sure your branding's on it and make sure that they share it to their social media, and there's abilities to do that. So that way you get that network effect and you grow quickly. Companies that have done that very well like TikTok and, you know, obviously Instagram and some of these companies that have sort of evolved very quickly. They've had that network effect, and it's a little bit of advertising in front, and then it just sort of grows by word of mouth because you don't have Instagram. Oh, well, you better download it, you know, because everybody's talking on it. When you have that network effect, you know, that's when things get interesting and fun. So.
Mm. And I want to give you a shout out too for even coming on here and showing us how we even do this. Like this, it's strenuous. That sounds like a at least a 10-month to a year process just in planning.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to map out things, you want to take your time because that's probably the most important thing, right? And as you map out what you think your app is going to do or something else that is going to provide a function, you want to make sure that you run that by people that you don't know. Like literally your target market, you need to go find people and introduce yourself to people in your target market and say, hey, building this app, I want you to be part of this panel. You know, what do you think about this? Would you download it? Would you use it? Would you share it? Right? Because that's going to give you a good idea if this is really worth it or not. Do the work up front. That's one thing I learned from myself. Well, a couple of the things that I launched were ahead of their time. So it wasn't specifically the right target market. It just wasn't the right time. And that happens too. You may be too early. People don't even know what it is. They can't understand it. Or you might be late. Somebody already came out with it. Oh yeah, but this app has, you know, 5 million. It's the go-to app for that function. So to compete with them is going to be very difficult. You have to have something that's better than them, or faster, cleaner, or more stable. So, but yeah, I would say 4 to 8 months is probably reasonable.
4 to 8 months is perfect. But I don't want to keep you on here too long because Instagram got a new cap now. You heard about the new cap, right, on Instagram?
Now, is it a 30-minute or hour cap?
It's an hour cap now. We used to be on live all day. Now it's an hour cap, and then they'll cut the end of the video. You know what I mean? We already like 55 minutes. So anything you want to say before you go? Because I don't want to cut off nothing that you're saying because this is fire and this is the future. And you heard how to create an app. You heard about all my man's new apps coming out. My man, the concepts are 400 apps. He knows what he's talking about. So if you got an app that you want to do, rewind this video and really put your mind to it. Put 4 to 8 months together. Put your templates together. Put your team together. Put everything together and get on your shit right now. But my man, anything you want to say before you go?
Absolutely. Number one, thank you very much. This is the first kind of interview, and I want to do with you because we've been talking for a while. I want to tell everyone that we'll listen to this later down the road, and as we kind of show this off to everyone else, this is an opportunity for people to get behind something that actually is kind of heading the right direction. There's a lot of nonprofits out there. There's a lot of great, organizations. I don't want to take away from anything that anybody else is doing. I want to just contribute new directions to help them get bigger and better and do really good things for the world. Do I need help? Absolutely. And there's ways to help. And I think as soon as the site launches 100%, you can contribute if you want to, or you can just, send me a message with a resume and say, hey, I want to be part of this. When you need me, send me one of those ripcords. I want that job. I want that future. We need people to help us. We need people to help support us. And, I'm reaching out to a lot of people to sort of start this momentum. And I think that's going to be the driving force for where we want to go.
Word. And I love you. You already know you my brother. And it's your boy kbrowntheceo, CEO of KNT Radio, KNT Entertainment, and co-partner with my homie Love You First with Exotic Beauties Modeling. So if anybody on there need any beautiful women for any events or stuff like that, or you need a host, I'll let your boy. But if you want to act created, I'll let my man right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy. You know what I mean? He's been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Helping other people doing this. You heard him 400 ideas, ideas. You know what I mean? And you heard the new app that he got coming out. And thank you for coming on. And I can't wait to see you. I already know what you mean. You talked about. You already know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we two people with the same goal on the same mission on two sides of the country. He's in Nevada right now. I'm in Pennsylvania right now. It's almost 3 o'clock where I'm at. It's almost 12 p.m. where he's at, but it don't even matter because we're both on the same frequency. And that's why we're going to make it, and we're going to keep making the world a better place app-wise. You already know. Love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Thanks for watching KNT Radio. Hit that like and subscribe button for more content. Gang.